Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into XRP. Once again, thank you for your continued support, okay? Do appreciate all the patrons that are signed up now, and that's amazing, the level of support that we've got in there, and really appreciate all your warm feedback, the community in there, the conversation is fantastic. Sorry if I can't reply to all your messages. As you can imagine, there's lots of messages. Do get involved in the posts and write comments on them. We'll try to go through and reply to those as well. And a big thumbs up to Captain in there, providing a lot of the content as well, so it's all good, it's golden. So right now you can see XRP, everything's sort of shit in the bed, but XRP is holding really strong, isn't it? It's really strong at the moment, and that is basically because it's going through this sort of accumulation phase and consolidation. Basically, it's just basically just consolidation 101. It's just going a bit flat, bit sideways. Like I said, it's hitting its head. $1.61 right here. Okay, you can see it went up the other day, like, yay, and then it fell back, obviously, with what's going on with Bitcoin and stuff like that at the moment. You do check out our Bitcoin video, because obviously there's a couple of patterns that are emerging on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and if they do play out, then you could be looking at a breakout for XRP relatively soon. And obviously if Bitcoin does continue to free fall there and takes Ethereum with it, it will take the market with it, unfortunately, and XRP, it will give up at one stage and come down to retest the low, because you can see it's struggling. You only have to look at this chart here to see that it is struggling to make any kind of headway. Okay, it's not completely unhealthy, I must admit. It's basically going sideways, chop, just like it did here in this particular level of consolidation, where you went up and you went chop sideways before actually rolling. And the fact that we're potentially looking at Bitcoin crashing all the way down to 28k as a target, you could see why at this moment this may drag XRP down with it at that point. And a lot of people are calling for an alt season where XRP just absolutely explodes out the gates here, and that is a possibility. I'm not denying that, but the fact is that we have outlined the levels of support for you from day dot, okay, and if you do start to see that roll, that is where I do imagine we're going to go through something like this, where we did in this particular bull run, where we did roll over and come back to these key levels of support, continuously making these high lows and high highs over a few months there, until you know, we actually took out, and with that extension there of that parabolic run that we went on for crypto. And I do believe that is coming again, but again, I've not got a crystal ball and I can't see into the future, but so far it is struggling to get through the 0786, isn't it? And like I said to you, the more it hits its head, the more it's going to struggle. Now there is a pattern emerging, okay? I'm going to show you the pattern in a moment, because it's acting as a really key level of resistance and a really key level of support, and it is effectively a bullish pattern. You can kind of see it here anyway on the weekly for XRP. You've got a kind of bull pennant on the go here for XRP. Do you see this, where you're doing something like this and you're trading into the apex? So effectively, if it can get the news it needs, that's where you will see the absolute breakout. But obviously you've got the underlying issue here with Bitcoin. Now if Bitcoin does go down and roll, and as that really deep correction, you're looking at about a 28-30% correction from where Bitcoin is at the moment down to a particular target that we've outlined. If it does go down there, then nothing will be exempt from that, even XRP, because you can see XRP was doing relatively well and it still dragged XRP down, and at one point it will create that cascade of selling, which is where you may potentially see XRP roll here, coming down to our targets here of 0.75 cents, okay, which is multi-year resistance. It's not back tested. You see that resistance, smashed through it. Like I said to you, when you smash through resistance, you do need to see that back test of support, and that's why we've got that particular target down here at 0.75. But it may not come to that. It may just bounce and wick off the 20, but you can see in this particular instance there, where it got overextended and started to roll, it did actually wick below the 20, but then it sat on the 20 as support, because that's what you need to see in a bull run, okay? You need to see your project sat on the 20 weekly EMA. Bitcoin right now is under that particular 20 EMA, and that is a precursor to a bit of a downside. And there's a couple more signals as well, okay? And it sounds stupid, but Chainlink, look at Chainlink, look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Chainlink, it's doing something it's not done since 2018, and that's correlated as well, the fact that Chainlink is creating that sort of pattern against Bitcoin. Are we going into a few months here where we're going to have a bit of a, not necessarily a bear market as such, but a larger correction across the board for cryptos, and XRP would not stand aside from that correction, in my opinion. But again, not financial advice, and I've not got a crystal ball. So what we do need to see, and like I've said to you for XRP, is just break this bloody key level of resistance right here, okay? Get through it. You know, the other day I made the video and it was looking really good. It broke out of that level of resistance right there on the Fibonacci and the patterns, okay? And it broke all levels of resistance and it was marching onwards and upwards, doing really well. But it's hit another level of resistance. I'm going to show you that in a moment. But what we do need to see is get above this 0786, close above 161, because if we don't, you're going to roll, and that is effectively it, okay? So that's XRP on the weekly. Need to just get the hell out of here now. It's getting really frustrating, isn't it, for everyone involved? Yeah, I mean, like I said to you in so many videos, if it does come down to these levels, wow, what an opportunity. Because I'll be completely honest with you right now, okay? Every single coin that I've said is coming down to a particular level has come down. The only one that's not come down is XRP. It's not come down to this level yet, and so do anticipate. It's basically, I could have 100% strike rate here, not blowing my own trumpet, but you can see it's poised. Basically, it's poised to do something, isn't it? And obviously break to the upside or break to the downside. But this is why I give you that 0.75, because I do think that would be the shakeout. I think that would be the absolute optimal entry point for XRP in this bull run moving forward, up to those price appreciations up there that we've got for XRP. So do watch this space. Again, not financial advice, but anyone that's involved, I wish you the best of luck, okay? So right now I'm just going to jump onto the 4-hourly time frame. Yeah, so XRP on the 4-hourly time frame right here, then you can see that effectively it broke that level of resistance, didn't it, at 154, and started to go on and had a really nice upside. But obviously it's hit a level of resistance in itself, and I'll show you that resistance in a moment. But it's hit a level of resistance which it failed to get through, and then it's come back and it's back tested support, and it held support, started to pick up again, but obviously with a correction in the evening there with Bitcoin, and dragged the market down. This is why you won't see, if this is just correlated basically, if Bitcoin does absolutely shit the bed and goes down to that 28k, this is where you will see XRP carry out that C wave correction. There's no getting around that, okay? And that's why I've always been transparent with you and said that if we do see a larger market correction, then you will see that wave C pull back, and potentially not as deep as the wave C, but at least a 20 EMA retest, just like we did in the previous bull run, like I've outlined so many times. So right now, I want to reassure you that XRP is doing relatively well. I'm not going to lie to you. It's got higher lows, and it's holding a key level of support right here of this trend line. So this trend line, believe it or not, is really important. And if you do start to roll out of that, then you are looking to come lower effectively. This is why this particular trend line is so important, because in actual fact, this is where you've met resistance, okay? Because you're effectively trading inside a giant horizontal triangle right here that you've come up into, okay? And it is a bullish continuation pattern. These particular patterns, if you fall into them, as I've taught you before, you fall into a horizontal triangle, you break down to the downside. It's something like a 68% statistic. Look at chartpatterns.com, okay? That's where you get all the statistics. So, and then obviously if you're trading up into one horizontal triangle, you know, 9 times out of 10 effectively you break to the upside, and that's why everyone is super bullish on XRP. And look how close we're coming to the apex at the moment. We're getting really close, and you can see yesterday that this is why you found resistance just there, just like you found a resistance just there. You formed the top there, you come down with support, resistance, and now look, you've bounced off it as support. So this is what I'm trying to say. This particular pattern right here, you know, towards the end of May, you've got to break out. It's got to make its mind up effectively which way it's going to go, and is it going to go to the upside or is it going to go to the downside? That is the big question. But what you've got in favor of the downside at the moment is Bitcoin. The fact that Bitcoin is looking like it's potentially going to go down to a lower low there, and at 28k if it loses a key level of support. Bitcoin's getting absolutely teared up at the moment, isn't it? And there's a head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin, a 28% correction on the cards of Bitcoin, which obviously, you know, if Bitcoin corrects 28%, alts correct 40%. That's the way it is, unfortunately. So this is why alt season and XRP might be put on hold, in my opinion, and you may see the dip down to the 20 weekly EMA there, and you may see that possible C wave pullback down to 0.75, which would be absolute fear in the market, in my opinion. But right now you can see it's holding the support of this upper trend line. Support. Do you see this? If it continues to hold this and comes back up, it's resistance, support, resistance. Wherever you see the break here, boom, that's where XRP could actually be off to the races right here. So do come to the charts and draw your trend lines, okay? Draw your trend lines and you'll see where the key levels of support are, because right now I could give you them, but obviously they change, don't they, in time. So obviously right now that key level of support was 135, and if you do continue to roll over here, then obviously it's going to change 139, 140, you know. So this is why you need to come onto your charts and draw your trend lines. So unfortunately for XRP, it's got Bitcoin dragging it down, and obviously you've got the case against it as well. At any point you could have a bit of news come out, couldn't you? And it is like it's clinging on for something. It's clinging on for dear life at the moment. It's hitting key levels of resistance as well on the Fibonacci retracement. But if you do get out of here, and you start breaking to the upside, wow, you've got some potential beautiful upside for XRP, and potentially a $2.75 appreciation on the next leg up after getting through this local high of $1.96. But so far, I'm going to be honest with you, so far, like I said to you in the earlier segment of the video, all my calls have been right, and I am eagerly anticipating this correction right here, because if I do, then I'm not going to make any more videos, okay? I'm just going to retire. I'm joking. So yeah, it's just really, really important for XRP, and I say every day it's important, isn't it? But if you do start to lose this level of support right now, this is where you could see a potential rollover for the market and XRP, where you come to, you know, retest these lows down here, and then obviously if you lose them at $1.04 and you start to roll under that, then that is where you could see the A, B, C correction come into play right here for XRP. So really, really, really interesting. Okay, who says crypto is not interesting right now? And you can see if it doesn't adhere to support, because at the moment on the 4-hourly time frame you're actually under the EMAs, and like I said to you, the more you remain under the EMAs, the more you're under resistance and you're forced into a move. So effectively, if XRP does continue to do something like this, you'll be forced whether to break up to the upside to retest this as resistance again, or are you going to drop out at this particular level of support. Now if you do start to see yourself fall out of there, then do anticipate putting in a cheeky short, okay, down to at least test this low here, and this is why you could see a bit of a correction for XRP around about 23%, okay, and then that would sort of invalidate this pattern that you've got on the go for here. This is a bullish continuation pattern. You've actually fallen out of it. So this is where, you know, you could see a breakdown, because you've come in, you've at the bottom and you're at the top, so it's from there to there for XRP, and you could see that if you did break out, look at that, boom, you've come down to the C wave effectively. So this is why you do need to keep an eye on it, because obviously if you do break to the upside, if you break to the upside anywhere here, this is where you could see that continuation, that nice upside for XRP wherever you break out along the apex there. So yeah, interesting times, definitely. Do need to pay attention to XRP and see what's going on with it. So take care, everybody. I'll give you a couple of trades. Obviously, if you do start to see XRP lose this level of support, and right now I can't give you that as a specific, you've got to come onto the 4-hourly chart and draw your trend line, okay? If you do start to see XRP break down anymore, then do anticipate, if you start to lose this trend line, at least come down to this 104, where I would imagine you get a little bit of support and a bounce for XRP, okay? And again, if you do start to see it push back up, okay, and it bounces off this and gets through the EMAs, just look at another retest of this support line up here, of this resistance line, sorry. So say it comes back down, and then you start to see it close above the EMAs, the 20, okay, gets back above that yellow line, which is 20 EMA on a 4-hourly time frame. Put a cheeky little long in, up to 15%, to at least test the top of this resistance, like this, okay? So if it comes down, does this, boom, put a nice long in up to that level of resistance right there for XRP. So yeah, stay strong, everybody, stay safe, and stay tuned, and I wish everybody luck with XRP, but it's coming, basically. A breakout is coming. You can see it's coming into the apex, and there's a decision that's going to be made soon, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye bye.